What's up guys, it's Talon here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the 5 best drop spots for the new Season 7. But before I get into this video guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, if you wish to support me in another way, use code Talon.fn in the Fortnite item shop, #ad. Without further ado, let's just jump right in. Before I actually get into the 5 POIs that I think are the best, I'm going to be explaining what criteria I'm going to be using to evaluate these POIs. I'm going to be using loot density. I'm going to be using access to payphones and upgrade stations. I'm going to be using access to weapon machines and medding machines. I'm going to be access to fishing spots, and then I'm going to be using access to free shield and actual locations on the map. But let's just jump into the 5th best POI. Alright, the 5th best POI, in my opinion, is Steamy Stacks. Now, if we take a look at the loot density of this POI, we have 24 chests that are actually within the POI, as well as a bunker chest, which is a respectable amount of loot. But when we look at upgrade stations and payphones, we're going to see that this particular POI does have access to an upgrade station and a payphone, so gold here is a pretty good option. You go to the payphones, get your gold, and then you can go upgrade your loot pretty quickly, in my opinion. So I think that is another positive about this particular POI. Now let's take a look at the weapon and medding machines. There is 2 weapon-o-matics, which is good. You can use that gold in that way if you do not have enough. And again, like I said, the payphone is there, so use of gold here, very good for better weapon opportunities. Next, we're going to be looking at the fishing access. With it being next to water, no surprise, there's a ton of fishing around. As you can see, 2, 2, 2, 3. Then you have some up towards the north side of the POI. So a pretty much solid POI overall. The last thing I'm going to look at is access to quick shields, which again is not a significant amount here, but its location is also going to not be the best. As you see, no slurp barrels or slurp trucks. There is one that is kind of towards here, but more than likely will be taken by a team that landing a split here, maybe with Orchard. That is the closest, and the actual location on the map kind of is a downside. It's very top right. The more center a POI is, the little bit better it is, in my opinion. But there's stacks, so you can rotate quickly, and the use of launch pads, I don't find location on the map as big. There's UFOs, there's boats, there's cars. Rotation is really not that big of an issue anymore, especially now with launch pads being back. That is why Steamy, in my opinion, is 5th. Let's jump in to number 4. Now, the 4th POI and 3rd POI I was incredibly torn about, but I ended up deciding that Lazy Lake is the 4th best POI. When we look at the loot density, we're surprised to see a significant amount of chests. There's going to be 31 that's actually within the POI, with the sum all a little bit around it. If we look at upgrade and payphone stations, we're going to see that there is going to not be an upgrade station there, and there is no payphone, and I think that's why I ended up putting this POI 4th as opposed to what POI gets 3rd. There is a payphone up here, but no upgrade station. Relatively close over here to upgrade, but nothing within the POI, and payphones are not close, so not really good use of gold. If we look at weapon and medding machines, we see that there is going to be 1 medding machine and weapon, so good access to maybe free meds if you want to use that gold, and not free meds, but gold for the meds or gold for the weapons, so you have access to those there as well. And then if we look at the fishing spots, no surprise, fishing is going to be strong here because it's right next to a lake, Lazy Lake. So tons of fishing options. You got the stream over here, river, whatever. You got the big amount of, so that is definitely a plus of the POI. Its location is definitely good. It's more of a center POI, so rotations are not going to really be bad in any direction. South side zones, you're going to definitely cop zone. North side isn't that bad as well, so location a good thing, but like I said, positioning on map is not as big a deal in my opinion. And if we look at the access to free shield, we're going to see that there is a little bit of free shield as well, but not a significant amount to make a difference. Only around 3, so 30 free shield in this particular area. And then that is why Lazy is my 4th best POI. It was close with our 3rd. Let's get into it. Now it was close, it was kind of a toss-up, but I believe the third best POI on the map was Misty Meadows. Now Misty Meadows, when talking about loot density, has a significant amount, close to Lazy's, 29 within the POI. There is no supply chest there, but once we start getting into upgrade station and payphones, I truly believe this was the difference. Now it doesn't boast an upgrade station unlike Lazy, but due to the fact that there is a payphone to get quick gold opportunities within the POI, it definitely gives it an advantage, and it's got much more payphones around it. As you can see, 3 in the area as opposed to only 1 to Lazy. So I think the payphone is kind of what pushed it, even though it has a minor difference in loot density. And again, with it being next to a lake and a river, there's not going to be any surprise with fishing. But let's get into the weapon and mending, and look, 2 weapon, no mending machines, so we have a lot of good weapon opportunities for our gold, and with that payphone we can really get those high level weapons out of those vending machines. So again, I think the payphone was a difference here for me personally. I think that's why I decided to go with this one over Lazy Lake. And as I've kind of already mentioned, fishing is going to definitely be a strong suit of this POI as well, even more so because of the fact that there is 4 icebox spawns, so lots of fishing opportunities. And again, with it being kind of next to lake, you have quick fishing opportunities throughout, so around 6 and then 10, so much quicker options as opposed to landing inside of Lazy Lake for fish. So, and then access to shield location of the map, no surprise, there's not going to be any slurp barrels or slurp trucks in this particular area, but the location on the map is not as good. However, it's south, but there is water, so you can quickly go north. And like I said, again, because of the introduction of launch pads, because you can have UFOs, you have vehicles, like rotation isn't as big as a deal as it used to be when there was no vehicle mobility for teams in the game. So that is why Misty Meadows made it number 3. Let's take a look at what POI is second. The second best POI, in my opinion, to land at is going to be Dirty Docks, and that is for a number of reasons. Number 1, it has a significant amount of loot density, as you're going to see here. 32 chests, and with 1 maybe you want to go 33 if you want to go, or 32 if you want to go count this one. But inside the POI, significant amount, oh, excuse me, I apologize, 33 with that one counting out. And then as you can see, there is also even a bunker chest, so now even better chance for better loot. Lot of great loot density here. This is the FNCS champion mirror reverse and days landing spot. No surprise, significant amount of loots. Now, if we go into upgrade and payphones, let's take a look. Upgrade station, yes, located within the POI. And is there going to be payphone close by? Let's see. No really payphones, but there isn't a payphone over here on rotation. And there's an upgrade station as well, so not as important, but having that upgrade potential, maybe you get good. There is a lot of washing machines there, which is again a great thing for gold, so you can maybe really get good loot off spawn, and you have a lot of loot density and bunker chests, so I figured a good enough minus the payphone. It can definitely work at the POI. You trade that off with a significant amount of loot density as well. Now, another thing that's obviously a strong suit of this POI, but what I'll get into later, is fishing. But before that, let's take the weapon and mending. Look, 2 weapon, and again, like you have all those washing machines, so you get some gold, you can get some really good weapons out of here as well. So good opportunities. 2 weapon-o-matic machines, very good for the POI. And then obviously access to fishing. Is there good fishing? Well, of course, it's on the coastline, so you're gonna have 4 here, then 5 here, so good opportunities. You get some little stream up there, which I wouldn't really consider the POI. If you get a south zone, you could just fish your little heart out down the south side. And in terms of location, it's a center map POI, so pulls are, it's not as bad, even though it's a far right POI. It's not that bad. And again, just because you have things such as vehicles you can drive out of here, you got UFOs, you got pads, it's not the greatest location, again, as opposed to like a center map. Bony Burbs is going to make your rotates pretty, or Corny Complex, which is going to make your rotates pretty easy. But like I said, with launch pads, vehicles, UFOs, not a big priority. And let's take a look at the free shield. We know Dirty Docks doesn't offer a lot. Not a lot of POIs do, other than really than Slurpee. Craggy being another one that does, but not enough loot density in my opinion for it to be a top 5 POI. That is why Dirty is number 2 on the list. And then let's take a look at the undisputed, easily by far best POI on the map. It was pretty easy to decide. Let's get into it. The best POI, in my opinion, without a doubt, and it was pretty easy to take a look at all of the data here and decide, it's Believer Beach. Not only does it support a significant amount of loot density, as you're going to see here, boasting 36 chests within the POI, it also almost offers everything that I would want in a drop spot. Now, there is no bunker chest, however, just 36 chests possible spawns is a significant amount. It's going to give you a very good amount of loot to start off. When you look at things like the upgrade stations and payphones, this POI is fortunate enough to offer both, so you're going to be able to get gold at your payphones, win your off-spawn fights. There's also a ton of washing machines here. I even believe this NPC sells a spaz. Martaj showed a solo best way to get it is basically farm all the vending machine or washing machines and then bounce around and go get a spaz. So that is also another plus of this POI. You can go to your upgrade station if you have a loot pump, do some challenges from the payphone. So very, very, very strong. Now, if you look at things like the weapon-o-matic and vending machines, oh look, there's one of each, so your gold can be used in that way that you get from the payphone. This is all conveniently located to basically minimize your RNG, improve your loot, and prepare for endgame. So I like this POI a ton. Now, obviously, with it being on a beach, we don't even need to say, is there access to easy fishing spots? Absolutely, 251, but we also have to forget there's ice boxes, and there's 6 in the POI as well. So fish a plus easily of this POI. As you're starting to see, this POI kind of offers everything. Gives you multiple ways to win. If you want to go prioritize fishing, yes. If you want to prioritize good loot, yes. You want to prioritize loot density, yes. Lots of good things. Now, when we even take a look at access to shield, it is fantastic as well. One of the POIs that can offer you full shield in the form of slurp barrels. Let's take a look. We look at slurp trucks. There is 10 slurp barrels inside the POI now. So if you are fortunate enough to get on Con, which I don't think it's will, because Sweaty Sands or Believer Beach has always been a very popular choice for most professional teams to land at, and no different, but you can get full shield here. Saving your meds, incredibly important. I believe there's only 2 other POIs that really do this, and that is Craggy and or Slurpee, obviously. So even that, and there's even a slurp truck that's in the close vicinity. So another strength of this particular point. And then when you look at it, is a more centerized POI in terms of middle of the map, so not that bad. But when you get into, even if you do more analysis of the area in terms of rotation, yes, you have vehicles, you have an easy road to get more center map, but you also have Spire for easy rotation. And if you really, have another zone, you have water to quickly go north if you need to. The only really bad type of rotation, which would be southeast, but that would still be more favoring you because you're still in the middle of the map. So this is, again, by far, in my opinion, the best POI. It offers the most. You have access to fish, you have access to free shield, you have a ton of loot density, you have access to payphones, upgrade stations, you have access to weapon and mending machines. So the total package in a POI by far is Believer Beach. And that is going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing the next one. Peace.